I've been twice. You've been none.
Right.
So
a little bit of background. I told Jeff today or yesterday.
It was this morning. I woke up to it this morning. I don't know when you sent it.
Hold on a second, real quick. Back in the thing, we got the Hop Dogma Silly Gimmick.
I like it.
What style IPA? Northeast.
So more of what we
I
hate.
like that. No.
This is another one from West.
I like how it's called Northeast, though. So yeah, I hinted to Jeff that I knew this. I only had this news as of Sunday, so I had this news. Whatever. I was like, okay, I want to surprise this on Jeff because I want to do an after show based off of this and get some hot tips. Sunday morning, I woke up. I realized I need a vacation. I know people who are going to GABF. I know that I can maybe get a ticket or two, and I'm like, I'll just book a flight and go. And
there were flights still available?
There were flights still available. They weren't cheap, but everything else balanced out. Everything else balanced out in the end because I'm staying with friends that I know. So yeah, as of Sunday night, I'm now GABF bound all of a sudden. So I'm going tomorrow. I'm going Wednesday through. I'll come back Sunday.
Okay. So are you going to do all 3 sessions?
I'll be at all 3.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I have access to all 3. I'll just say, I don't know much of what I'm doing. I'm kind of riding on the coattails of the people that I know out there. But I just literally said I have the luxury. I'm not just saying anyone should do this, but I have the luxury to just say fuck it and go.
Yep.
So this is the one trigger I'm pulling, and now I'm not regretting it, but I'm nervous because I don't know. I haven't been looking at too many videos of GABF.
This is the Super Bowl, my friend.
It is.
This is the World Series. This is the Final Four.
Because it's not. I mean, and I know you've told me before. There's nothing you can plan for. Maybe scan the breweries or whatever. Yeah. But there's nothing you can plan for. So tell me about you've been twice, you bastard.
Yeah. So I did. I went in 2011, 2012, and you and I were supposed to go together next year.
We're going next year.
Of course we're going to go next year. Of course we're going to go next year.
In full LTB fashion.
Exactly, with our shirts and everything. Oh man. It's amazing. I will say this: it was the first Brewfest I ever went to, which is mind blowing.
That's awesome.
In 2011, it was the first Brewfest I had ever been to, and I didn't know what to do. Like I was like, what do I do? And I was kind of alone because I went with Anthony and he had to work at the P Brew booth.
Because he was P Brew, right?
And so he was already in and everything. And I walk in and I'm given a book. Like it's not like a piece of paper. Like you get around
it's
here,
like
you get a piece of paper.
Yeah.
There you get a book and a cup. And they're serious about the cups. Like you have to show them. So they scan your ticket, you get in, and then you have to show them your ticket, and they cross out your ticket or they tear your ticket and give you a cup.
Okay.
And if you lose your cup, you don't get another one.
What?
Thing. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Jesus. Okay. Good to know.
There's 40,000 people or something going there. They can't mess around with that.
God.
The biggest thing too, and if you've got access, then try to get access without standing in line, because if you're not early in line, it takes forever to get in.
Yeah.
But
the only video I looked at, and I don't do much analysis paralysis when it comes to this because it could be different every time, but I looked at the line's huge if you're not there.
It wraps around the convention center
because it's a 5-hour session. It seems like each session is 5 hours.
Yeah, because there's 4 total sessions. I think there's.
I'm not going to the members only.
That's fine. Yeah, I went. So I did. I went.
I might be. I'm not sure.
So I went to the members only the second year because I wasn't a member the first year.
Was it still jammed?
It's
all AHA, which you have it, right?
Yeah. Actually, I think my membership has lapsed. I need to renew it.
Yeah.
But yes, so I was Home Brewers Association member the second year.
Yep.
And I only went to one session the first year I went out there because we actually missed our flight and missed the Thursday session.
Why'd you miss your flight?
Anthony slept late.
I don't know. I think you're going to throw some.
I'm throwing him under the bus. He slept. No, Anthony slept in.
All right.
Forgot the alarm, kind of a thing.
Okay. Yep.
So I only got to go to one session. Well, no, I think, you know what? I take that back. I had a ticket to 2 sessions. We missed one. I went to one, but then he, if anybody from P Brew's listening, don't, earmuffs. Nobody claimed the rest of the P Brew passes.
Oops.
So on the last day, he was like, just use the pass. So I got to hang out.
So what does that pass give you?
You get you get to go in for free, like the Brewers. It's like what the
is there a separate entrance for that?
Oh yeah. Just
so get in there.
Show your badge and just
okay.
walk in. Yep, absolutely. Because they, you get like 4 passes I think per brewery. I'm sure Sam Adams gets more. The big guys
Right, yeah.
get more.
Right.
Yeah,
Here's my second cousin's rep for a different brewery, but
exactly. It's a huge. It's a cross between a convention. It's like when you go to a. Like just last week, I was at Microsoft Ignite was the conference that I went to.
Oh, were you really? Nice.
Yeah, that's where I went to. And
cool.
you go down on the expo floor where all the vendors are trying to sell you crap. It's a cross between that and a beer fest.
Is there still stuff? Are there still vendors? Like there's obviously shitloads, and the map is nuts, and the app is great. We'll talk about that in a second. But is there still like is there still stuff to be sold? Like,
no. So it's
not like a dog and pony show of like here's this weird beer technology.
Well, so here's
and beer.
Not on the floor in that sense.
Okay.
But when we went in 2011, we went to the party, the industry party at New Belgium, and we were sitting with these guys that are in the keg leasing business, and so they were there because everybody is there, and I think there are other like industry things to do. That are not just on the floor drinking beer. Right. So yes, there's a degree of that.
Yeah.
But it is still just a really, really big brew fest.
Is it cramped?
It gets that
way.
Okay. So
because it's all sold out. I'm showing the thing here. Everything's sold out for days.
And again, I haven't been in 5 years, but literally everybody had a 6 or an 8 foot banquet table. Like it was just like a regular brew fest.
Yeah.
Only huge. And some of these people were tiny, like they probably spent all their money to go to the festival.
Yeah.
Yes. Whereas there's other places that, they just go every year and that's their thing. There's different sizes. Everybody usually at the end of an aisle are the big guys. Like that's where like Dogfish, like New Belgium will have like a special booth that they built.
Yeah. So my question was, and I wonder if we have to ask a brewer for this, is can you send beers in to be judged? Because outside GABF, it's a
competition.
It's festival, but it's a competition.
There is a competition as well.
So recent local winners, Seven Settlement from their brown, maybe a couple years ago, won gold for the brown. But can breweries still send it without going? I wonder.
So their website's actually relatively informative, and right now while we're talking, it's probably not the time to figure this out.
That's fine.
But I believe so. I believe you can do sort of whatever you want. And then I think there's a fee to enter the competition as well.
And then to what end for these small breweries you're talking about that spend like every nickel and dime to go? Like what are they expecting out of a Colorado brew fest?
So that's
that they're going to come over to Portsmouth and check it out, or go up to South Portland.
That's actually a really good point. And I think that if you think about it. When we look at some of these local brew fests that bring together all of New Hampshire, it's cool, or even all of New England. It's cool because they are easy obtainable. Yep. Like I can drive there. Like whether they're big or small or whatever, I can drive there. I can go do it. Yep. I don't know what draws people to GABF. I don't know if it's that they are entering a beer and they just want to be there because the judging happens before the end of it. So I want to say that
there's awards on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, so I think the Saturday session happens after the judging, and so there's a rush because I remember being there. I want to say I did like the members session Friday and then the Saturday I think, and then there was like, oh well, somebody wrote up in Sharpie gold medal winner, and up on the up on the screens they cycle through the winners, and then there's people just like flocking to it. And so I don't know if it's the thought that maybe we'll win and we'll get this attention, but what does that matter? Like, because to your point, these are people from all over the country, the world even.
Oh, totally.
So who are these people going to like fly across the country to go visit one of these breweries? I don't know.
And I'm looking at, so as I can pull the app up in a second, but as I'm going through the app, it's like there's these breweries that are for sure small that I've heard of, like even from Portland that everyone has business being there, but it just seems like what's your goal?
Well, and again, it's not like
it's awesome to be part of it. I definitely imagine, but
nobody puts up a banner that says GABF attendee.
Right? Yeah, like or New Hampshire's best brewery, or like Portland, Maine's #1 stout, or like But going off of that, did you have a plan going into it? Like, how did you prepare for it, or did you have like? So the first, I want to try beers from California.
So the first year I had knew nothing, and it was name recognition. It was,
Okay.
ooh, I've heard of them. Ooh, I've heard of them. They organize it by location as well. So that if you look,
They do, yeah.
if you look, it's all based on region. And I walked in, and it was, oh, I've heard of these guys. Oh, I've heard of those guys. Let me go. And I hate to say it, let me go look at New England, like stupidly, because I can go there. And then it became, the year after, it started to be, where is there no line?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and I don't want to make that sound like a bad thing, but there was some genuinely good. And the thing that sucks about the app, and this is the problem, is that it recycles every year, I think. So I think I lost like all of my info and my notes, because they were doing the app in 2011, 2012 when I went there. And so you can rate and check off beers and stuff. So the app is super solid. But I started just like, let me just try the places where there's no line, like literally right next to, the brewery from California where there's a massive line. There's 16 other guys that don't have a line. Ooh, Port Jeff Brewing, by the way. That's amazing. I have a shirt from Port Jeff that's right on your screen. It was on your screen.
Where is it now?
Oh, they're from New York. They're in Section B.
Oh, okay.
Which is going to be a weird super
Did I
delay.
miss it already?
No, it was because the computer screen is super delay. And it started with, you know what? I'm here. I just want to drink beer, and not like I want to drink beer to get drunk, but I paid good money to be here. I just want to try some stuff. And so that's what it came. That's literally what it became.
It was on my added list already.
Port Jeff?
I think because of you.
Oh, my shirt. Yeah, I have the shirt.
Yeah. All right, cool.
But yeah, so it literally became, you know what? Where can I try beer? Because like you say, you've got your 5 hours, and sure, everybody.
There's the map right there of kind of all the.
Yep. Oh, they're doing it that way. That's interesting, because I feel like they did longer rows the other way before.
And it's tough to see from this far away, but I mean, it show like luckily enough they show like here's the New England and Northwest, and here's just Northwest. So it's cool. Like
no, they do a great job
from that perspective, and I guess they update it with the beers the breweries have.
Yep. Oh yeah. So it should be updated. You should have all that stuff.
Cool.
It's intimidating as hell if you've never been. And obviously, you've been to a plenty of brew fests, so you just get in there. My advice would be get the most you can out of it, and that's why like don't go to the new. Obviously, I just told you everybody from New England practically don't even go to the New England section. It doesn't even matter, because even the special beer they have, we'll get it somewhere else.
Yeah, and there's fucking multiple islands. Like there's Meet the Brewer, I guess. Is this
and there's they also have like some fun other activities, like they have the silent disco,
like just the mountain breweries. Like what? Like
and like Broken All Down. Like it's no joke. Like it's a serious event.
But for those that are going and kind of want to take a look, it's a solid app as far as any beer fest or any app goes. And say you want to pick a brewery here, say Uber Brew, and you can add it to your list here. And then you
show you where it is.
Go back to your GABF here, and you got all the breweries that you checked in here, ready to roll.
And then you can like click on like
say Firestone, for example.
See the beers they have.
Yeah, so it says the beer list will be added here, but you can find it on your list, and when you have it, you press there and you check it off.
Yeah, you can check them in. There's comments. There's a whole 9 yards. Like I said, it's too bad that they reset it every year. It's the same app. They don't like reissue an app kind of a thing. Otherwise, because I've lost all my info.
And it's tough too, because I didn't make the mistake, but anyone makes a mistake being on Reddit. But you can go to Reddit and people are asking, what should I try? And it's just like, it's everything.
Yeah, no.
But there's no specific thing. And you're there with what we were talking about with these smaller breweries going, you're going to find beer that's probably not the best from that area.
Correct.
It might not even be good beer in general, but it's at that point, you're just trying like new.
Just
pick
try
some of your
somebody.
favorite, because we were talking about Crooked Stave. I got them marked. I've had a Crooked Stave beer.
Mm-hmm.
I got some stuff from places I've been in Portland that I want to check out again.
Yep.
So it'll just be a lot of walking and figuring out like where to.
It's a good check in, and I try to not like bounce around too much. Like I try to move, because there's a lot of walking.
Are these different buildings?
No. It's one big hall. Well, it was one big hall when I was there.
These
those are just like booths. They're like a sets of.
But I mean,
booths.
all these islands are different. They're all in the same place.
Yeah. So
is it sardines?
Well, no, but it's
a
massive convention center. So it's the Colorado Convention Center, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I'll look it up here.
It is the Denver Convention Center. right? Or is it the Colorado Convention Center, unless they renamed it. I always have to. Let me look at the.
So,
Wikipedia.
I mean, here's. Oh, wait, what happened to New England? Oh, whoa! Here's someone. What happened to New England? There's an article here from Westward, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
the Great American Beer Fest has always been a little geographically lopsided.
Definitely,
the annual event, which begins Thursday, was founded 36 years ago. Blah blah blah. The next heaviest hitters are Oregon, Texas, with more than four. Oh wait, hold on, back it up. California. Oh wait, Colorado is heavily represented.
Obviously,
California brings 150 breweries.
All right, so like I said, it was a lot.
And then the next heaviest hitters are Oregon and Texas. With Texas, I'm surprised that they're up there with that many.
It's, it's physical size. They're huge.
More than 40. Huge. Midwest, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, blah, blah, blah. Over the past few years, however, even as the numbers of participating breweries has shot upward from 580 that appeared 5 years ago to 900 last year, the geographical representation hasn't kept pace, at least for breweries sign up. Blah, blah, blue. The South is always trouble. Well, Mississippi and Alabama have had trouble, but the northeast corner of the United States collectively sending just 20 breweries.
Think about it. Vermont is sending nobody, and
it says right here. I'll say again, none from Vermont. Right here.
Yeah, and so
I'm not showing it here. Sorry, guys. But none from Vermont.
When I was there, and again, not that this is a big deal, but the likes of Magic Hat and some of those people were there.
Whoever wrote this is in the know. So they must be from New England, because it says in the same sentence, and I love this person. It says No Hill Farmstead or Four Quarters. Four Quarters is a great brewery.
I don't know if I've heard.
Great. I mean, I love when the underdogs are represented in the list like this. So good for them.
I don't know about.
Well,
Long Trail, I'm pretty sure has been there, and like I said, were others there. There was representation from all states. The Alchemist is never going to go. First of all, the Alchemist and Hill Farms, they're never going to go.
Quote from the executive director of the Vermont Brewers Guild says, "Our industry is so hot right now that we can't keep up with production. I think that for the bulk of the breweries in the state, taking time away from the brewery to go to a conference might not be possible because they're having trouble keeping up with demand," which I agree. And also you have to deal with the CBC as well, the Craft Brewers Conference, which is more of the
industry side.
More of the industry, yeah. Mm-hmm. So more of the tech side, more of the kind of the inner workings of a brewery. So maybe they're only have a chance to send them either way.
I think that right there gives you your answer about the importance of this event to brewers, is that they're like, look, we're already doing fine. Like, we don't need none of these big Vermont guys need this.
But you are totally seeing this in local beer fests as well. Beer fests like the Beer Advocate fests, that Treehouse, Trillium,
they don't even go.
Alchemist, they don't go.
They don't have to.
Like, I was at a beer fest. It was maybe last year, the Microbrew Fest, where Three Floyds was there, but not Treehouse, not Trillium, not Bissell, because they don't have to, which is fine.
Correct.
But I think once people get used to that, that's fine. But to some extent, wouldn't you as a brewery want to kind of show your hand somewhere else where people can't always go up to see you?
No,
but it's also not your responsibility. I give it to them.
It's a super catch-22 because
I'm talking myself out of it.
Think about this though. How much heady topper? And I'm using the Alchemist as a for instance. I'm not endorsing them in any way, shape, or form, even though I love, I love Fogelbanger. How much heady and focal?
Want to pull that Fogelbanger out?
Would they have to send? Yep. How much would they have to send?
That's true.
To not run out day one. And the other thing too is I'm pretty sure this conference, I think they throttle because they know they have four sessions.
Right.
You send 100 barrels, they're only going to put out 25 a session ish, kind of a thing. Like, how much would they have to send? And who would actually enjoy it? Because there'd be just line totally. After line. And what kind of cross-eyed looks would they get from other brewers who are sitting here with top-notch beer with nobody drinking it?
Right.
Because all these weenies are in the Alchemist line.
It's true, and I definitely agree with that. And then two sides of that is, from a business standpoint, that beers would cost them way more than what they're selling it to. I don't know how the beer fest is run, but they could sell that for way more than bringing it across country.
Correct. So I just
I recently saw an article about a blind taste test. I don't really pay attention to them, but this one stood out a little bit. Paste Magazine, whatever. Saw it on Reddit, and the big guys didn't even make the ranking portion of it. So we're getting into this part where I think people are becoming not picky, but they're beginning to try more. Which I'm a huge proponent of.
That's what this whole show,
right? And it's not to say
this whole show's about.
Totally, and it's not to say that these beers are bad, but you also need to try the other ones. And even though Alchemist isn't going to be there, it gives other brewers a chance to say, "Here's our IPA." Also, if you're ever in our state, be it Montana or Wisconsin, whatever, get over here.
Mm-hmm.
We're not comparing. We're not the heady topper of this place, but we have a fucking kick-ass beer.
Yeah.
Come try it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But it's definitely tough, and we're seeing it around here with a lot of the fests, where some of the bigger brewers that you see in all these forum posts aren't showing up at the fest. No one really cares then because they can go. But what does that mean for people that in Colorado that want to try it?
Yeah,
it's got the trade. And
no, I agree. I mean, it's a catch-22. Everybody would love to be everywhere. I guarantee you talk to any brewer who is a decent person,
yep.
And they would say, we'd love to be everywhere,
right?
But we can't,
right?
and they're unwilling to compromise quality, which I applaud immensely.
And I wonder. Oh, so go ahead. Sorry.
So they're unwilling to compromise by contract brewing or by cheapening their product or anything. So, which again, I am 100% behind that.
Totally.
It's just this is tough right now.
We're also in a climate. I hate using that word because it feels like I'm going to go somewhere else, but I'm staying on beer.
I feel like we're at work right now, Todd. You're dropping buzzwords.
I have a flow chart that you guys can't see. It's over here.
I have a Gantt chart behind me, too, if we're going to go crazy.
Tell me. All right, new podcast. Let's talk Gantt charts.
Nobody. I won't even listen to that one.
I'll watch. I won't listen. So you got to watch. You got to look at the charts. But we're in this. The industry is growing, and with that comes more opportunities to try these beers. And by that I mean there's way more beer fests now locally than there have ever been like years ago.
Well,
only a couple years ago.
I told you 2011 GABF was my first beer festival I ever went to.
So the only one to go to. No, but so we were talking about before the show that 2 weeks ago, or maybe last week, whatever, there were 4 high quality events happening in the New England area
at the same
that
time.
Breweries had to either pick or choose or go to a couple. You had the Swansea Day, which not a beer fest, but you had the Copenhagen Beer Fest, which you have to be invited to. The Woods, the Barrel Fest that Beer Advocate put on, it was in Portland. There's so many beer fests going on almost in the same weekend that yes, you have to choose. And do you choose to stay local and true to your audience? It seems like a better idea to kind of embrace that. I don't think I'd be mad if we go to the Red Hook Fest next week and say Bad Lab or Sam Adams isn't there because they went to GABF. I wouldn't be mad, right?
No,
but it's also it's them. I wonder if it's them just saying we want to pick the Red Hook Fest and the Powder Keg because that's our audience.
Yep, they have to be realistic about it.
Why go to Colorado to hopefully
make it big,
convince one person to fly to Portsmouth,
yeah, and I think the other thing too, we've talked about the production volume, like how much do they have to produce to be able to go to this festival, or what is that going to mean to their other distribution avenues? If Alchemist goes, does that mean they have to make their can limit less for 2 months or whatever the hell it is,
and it'll affect that guy driving out from Connecticut to try
but it's also the people aspect of it. When you think about it, is some of these breweries, they don't have the staff, the sales staff, the event staff that some of these other people do, and a lot of GABF too. I will say this: there are volunteers that do the pouring, like so that the brewers are not they're not like lashed to their table.
Yeah.
And I will throw a shout out.
But
you're not listening.
Volunteers from GABF?
Yes.
Okay. So
Spider, he was the guy that poured for the Portsmouth Brewery. That was his nickname. Like he came up with a name.
And he was from Colorado, just hanging out?
He's like, I just volunteer every year because like they get like a pass.
Spider.
Like so they volunteer for 3 out of the 4 sessions and they get to go to the 4th or like
That's
something
cool.
something stupid. The craziest thing too is he poured in 2011 for P Brew, and then I walked up to another brewery in 2012 and I was like, Spider, it's you. I have a picture with him. I'll give out to the show notes.
I want Spider immediately.
So they have people that pour for them a lot of brewers are there, but there's a lot of times the brewers are not at the table
because they're going to other breweries.
Correct. And so you're there like, oh, okay, what do you got to pour for me? Well, I have a brown ale, I have a Scotch ale, and I have an IPA. Oh, can you tell me about the IPA? It's an IPA. Like, and that's not Spider's fault. That's not Spider's fault.
Right, exactly.
It isn't. And so it's another thing. It's sort of commercialized, and they don't have the people. To your point, there were 4 events last weekend, and so as much as Zwanzi wasn't a fest that people could go to, it was probably an event that brewing reps wanted to go to as well. And so it's like, who has these Bad Labs? What is their sales staff?
First of all, it's Bad Lab.
Bad Lab. Sorry, Bad.
It's Seeker's Beverage Labs.
Well, but it was Bad Labs Possessive.
Right. Oh, gotcha.
Bad
You're
Labs.
Gotcha.
Sales staff.
Good call.
Thank
Good
you.
recovery.
No, that's actually what I was saying.
But it's true though.
So what do they have? How many do they have to say?
Especially since they just opened.
Yeah.
But so my counterpoint to this though is maybe Barra, Great North, and Bad Lab, they're going to say to us, hey, we're going to this big ass fest in Colorado. Like, we're here. To us as New England.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, we're at a brewery. Like, now if we go to Barra, oh my God, this brewery's been to GABF. I don't know what they were doing there, but they were at the biggest festival possible.
And when you think
so
about
kind
it,
of a little bit of
what are there? I mean, what are there? 500 breweries going? I mean, I don't know what the number.
I don't
remember what the number is.
Wait, real quick. Let's go back to the beer real quick. Focal Banger.
Oh, Focal Banger, which is better than Heady Topper.
As the kids say, freshie, and you'll leave with a can. I got you.
I think I have cans at home.
And then, oh my God.
Yeah, I like
Seaco's beer's going nuts right now. With someone denying I can't have.
So honestly, I'll say this: I was going to bring, and if Wes, you're listening, I am glad the box came in yesterday. I was going to bring all stuff from the box, but then I looked and I have a whole shelf, and like some of the stuff I sent to Wes last time, I could only buy 4-packs of. Like, shout out to Trillium for doing the single can choices if you want.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, I still have a shit ton of beer. I'm like, I'm gonna bring more of that. So sorry you didn't get to enjoy some of the freshies, but we're gonna do this at the housewarming party.
And I'll bring some stuff back from over there, which is why I'm trying to.
Yes.
Yep.
So,
but this is my absolute favorite Alchemist beer. I want to swim in it. I want to breathe it. I want everything. This is my the Focal Banger is the best.
And I will say this: the first time I ever had Focal Banger was with you.
Oh,
you don't remember this?
Oh no! Let's go. Get into it.
No, we're gonna do it. So this was several years ago.
Yeah.
It was, I want to say, one of the nights of
Columbus.
No, I used to have a sword from the Knights of Columbus. By the way, it's a separate story. Story. I want to say it might have been the Gaslight Beer Fest, and you had a tasting over at the Sheridan.
Oh God, I remember that.
And I showed up hammered.
Yep, I remember that.
And you pulled out a can, it wasn't unmarked, but it was a silver can.
It was pre-full. It
with
was
a sticker.
Pre-label.
It was literally it had like a sticker on it.
That was one of the.
I loved it.
Most fun times ever, where the brewers come back for an after party in a conference room.
And the worst part is, I had been playing. That was also like National Margarita Day. We had a party. It was the last, honestly, it was the last big party at our apartment other than the going away party, which was years earlier.
Yeah.
We had been drinking at Agave all day, which, by the way, Max McNair and Melissa McNair, formerly of P Brew and of Agave, they live in Denver. They want to know who's going to GABF. I'll set you up with them. I'll set you up. We had been drinking all day at Agave, and then we went back to my place, and we were playing Beirut. Or beer pong, for
Beirut,
those of you not in the know.
Last episode titled Beirut Gambrinus.
That's true. We were playing Beirut with Pliny. That's how we rolled.
Assholes.
Yeah, no, that's how we rolled. And then I was like, oh, shit, I'm supposed to meet Brian over at the Sheridan. And so I stumble in, and then I had this deliciousness of Focal Banger. And since that day, I've been like, Focal Banger's way better than Heady. When everybody's like, "Ooh, get me Heady," I'm like, "Focal Banger's way better."
Like, do you want to?
And they look at me funny. Yeah. People look at you funny. Like, how could you say that?
Because Heady at one time, I don't know if it is. I don't know what the Beer Advocate rankings now are. Used to be numero uno for a while.
Yeah,
and I'd love to revisit this for the top 5 while we're here. So my question to you is, I've told told very few people. You're like the third person I've told them going because I want to surprise people that whatever. But I've heard from industry people that the best part of the fest isn't the fest itself.
You
but
heard
it's
that from me too.
The stuff around.
Correct.
I was gonna rope you in. See, now I know what it feels like when I cut you off.
No, Ashley says I cut you off too many times when we do this. And I've been trying to. I've been trying to not.
No. Oh, please get in there. No. She meant me. But I've heard that there's so much stuff going on around there it's worth going. And I do have the pleasure of knowing people that are in the industry that I might be able to get to some places. I know for a fact. The only thing I know for a fact is I'm going to New Belgium tomorrow.
Oh,
like,
so are you?
24 hours from now, I will have already left New Belgium.
I was going to say you're not going to the industry party. I think it's Thursday, unless it's tomorrow.
Well, because Thursday is the.
Oh, is it tomorrow? Is it tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because Thursday's the industry night at or the.
Oh no,
but
there's a party. All right, so maybe you're going. I hate you so much.
All I know is I'm getting picked up going to breweries.
Oh my god, it's so amazing. So first of all, New Belgium. That first year I went in 2011. Again, Anthony
I'm nervous because I want to go to New Belgium.
Let me just tell you the story.
Can I get a fresh fat tire?
I don't. Honestly, I brought.
Can I get a Ranger?
They don't even make Ranger anymore. I had to bring a bomber. I brought a bomber of fat tire back for my boss at the time, Steve. He's like, hey, just bring me a fat tire. So I brought him a bomber back. It's great. But the first again. So mind you, I have. It must have been maybe it was like I don't remember how this all went down, but it was the first year. It was 2011, and Anthony he was a bartender at the brewery. He had just become a manager, and his like last bartending shift, somebody came in and was talking to him, and she was like worked for New Belgium or something like high up, and she's like, oh yeah, you're going to GABF? Yeah, here's my email address. I'll come on to the party. So he emailed them. It's like, hey, I'm gonna be out there, with a buddy, or like, whatever. And so he's like, yeah, we're gonna go.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, I've never New Belgium. I didn't even know who they were, even though I actually remember drinking Fat Tire.
Yeah.
When I was in Minnesota years before, didn't know who it was. And so I was like, okay, we're gonna go. And so we get there, and it's similar to like Dogfish Head, where it's like. Not that it's like Dogfish is in the middle of a neighborhood, but they're like right in the middle of like just everyday life.
But so it's huge though.
It's
it
huge.
Looks huge.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah. So you pull up and
there's stuff around it.
Yeah, there's stuff around it.
Yeah.
So you pull up and we find a place to park, and we go to this place, and we're like, yeah, we're here for the party. Anthony and from the Portsmouth Brewery. This is Jeff. And they're like, oh, okay, here's your name tags, and they like write out like a name tag,
right.
You stick it on or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, go around. The beers are over there. Which is the best part. Like anytime you go to a party and after you get a name tag, they're like, the beer is there. You come back to that party. And so we go into this room, and they have all these different it's like you're at a mini beer fest. It's like at a beer fest with 20 breweries because they have these like 20 little stations set up with all this beer pouring. And so we're just looking around, and they're like, yeah, come on, grab a beer, whatever. And so we go up.
What?
And we get a glass, not unlike this, like a nice good glass bubble. Like, what do you want? And I don't even remember what I got. We got something. And so we're drinking our beer. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, group 7, it's your tour time. And we had been assigned.
Doing tours?
So these are special tours.
Oh, jeez.
And so we were like, oh shit, we're group 7. We just got our beers. And so we walk over to like the guy doing the tour who just called us over. And we're like, we have these beers. Can we, what do we do? And he's like, take them on the tour with you.
Jesus.
And we're like, okay. A 2.5-hour tour.
Jesus.
Yeah. No, they're all brewers. Everybody, this is the industry party.
Right.
The guy that gave us a tour was like the head tour guide for many years. He didn't work there anymore, but he comes back for this event. And there's brewers there, and they have their flashlights and their tape measures and their notepads. And these guys are on the tour like climbing under, like people
taking notes.
Yeah.
Of like, oh man.
And they're
didn't even think about that.
They're explaining their setup where they have a totally computer controlled setup, and they've got pipes that go everywhere, and they just cross connect.
Yeah.
And the computer recognizes, FV12 is hooked up to bottling line 6. Push the button, it goes through, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
And so then we finish the tour, and I told you, it's ridiculous. You drink the whole time. The guy's like, the taps are over there. Whatever you want. I'm still holding. I'm pissed. I actually broke that glass.
You kept it?
Oh, they let you take it. They're like, take the
my
glass.
God.
No,
Listen,
they
I gotta talk to someone on that
they
meeting
were like
there.
they were like, take the glass. So we took it. I broke it actually pouring a heady topper into it years later back home. Even though it says drink from
Smash
the
cut.
can. Drink from the
Yeah,
can.
you
I
asshole.
didn't.
That's why karma.
So we come out of the tour and we're hanging out in their patio and there's like food being passed around and there's just coolers of canned and bottled beer hanging out. And we're sitting there. And all of a sudden, we hear Anthony and I were like giddy as can be. We hear somebody. I hear there's somebody from Portsmouth Brewery around here. Where are you guys at?
What?
And I'm like, shit, they caught me because they know I'm. They're gonna throw me out. It's Jeff Lepsch, the founder of New Belgium, comes over. He wants to know, where's Todd?
Wow.
This is the weekend of Tyler's wedding.
Oh my God.
Tyler got married on GABF 2011.
Todd was.
Where's Todd? And
Unbelievable.
we're like, he's at a wedding. I didn't know who he was who this guy was yelling at him. I figured it out after the fact. And he's like, oh, well, you tell him I said hi. Anthony and I shook his hand, and then he's gone. Just up and gone. And we're just cranking beers the whole time. Like, again, there's this buckets of beer, and there was some staff members that were talking to us because they were just hanging out, sitting around.
Yep.
And I remember one guy being like, yeah, man, that keg they're pouring of whatever it was, I don't remember. He's like, they told us 2 years ago there were no more kegs of that. He's like, either they lied or they lost some. And he's like, I'm going to go and say they lost it and they just found it. Like, that is what that event was.
Okay, so
ridiculous.
I need to talk to my friends out there to say, listen, this
and
is
you got to
what's
go
happening.
after that. You got to go to Avery.
So you told me about Avery and
Love it.
So yes, hang on. I had a burp coming up. No, but tell me about Avery because I know New Belgium is not in Denver.
No, it's in Fort Collins.
Fort Collins, but it's hour-ish away.
Hour and a half. I'm actually going to look because I'm not 100% sure.
And then Avery, which we don't get enough. We don't get any here in New Hampshire.
No,
so
we don't. And Avery,
there's like a bottle at Julio's. Excuse me. God,
I always say
Julio's. I went to my native tongue for a second.
Yeah, you Western Massachusetts.
By the way,
people.
real quick, shout out to BM Watts for the tap handle of
the annoyingest tap handle ever.
I can't put it down. It's the Rebel IPA from Sam Adams.
Yeah. So Avery, they're in their new facility now.
Okay.
When I was there, they were in their old one.
I'll tell you what.
And my brother Timmy, as he drove through, either on his way to Washington or from Washington or whatever, he sent me a picture of their new building. Looks gorgeous. Looks absolutely gorgeous.
Right.
They're in Boulder. But the old brewery was creepily tiny, at least like the tap room. And they had it was sort of awkward. Like the taps just came out of the wall and there was a bar.
Yeah.
And it was kind of painted this brownish goldish color, and they had some tables, and then they had an outside, and that was it. It was nothing fancy.
I have their logo in my mind, but I don't know if
it's a big A. It's a big red A.
Right. But they have a brown or something
So as far as what you normally see around here, actually I saw the Kaiser.
Okay.
So they had their Dictator series.
Yeah.
So the Kaiser.
Yeah. The White Rascal. I remember somewhere.
Their IPA is great.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
But they make so much beer that never gets here. And so Anthony and I went, I want to say...
It's a good-looking picture.
Oh, no, that's... And they foil the beer, too. They foil their bottles, which I think is super cool. That
cool,
they foil.
Yeah.
It's not a look that you get very
Definitely
often.
no.
But I'm pretty sure that when we went the first time, we went after the fact, and I think my friend Mallory came, because it was after the festival, and so they still had they had some stuff on tap that was great, but all the really good stuff was gone, and it was just a super chill, laid back atmosphere, and they had some great sours that we really enjoyed, and I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
So when I went back the year after, I actually ended up going up alone. Anthony didn't come that year, and I was all by myself. Mallory let me take her car, and I drove up.
That's
cool. I did New Belgium. And
nice.
then
You went back?
I came back.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Oh, I did the regular public tour. I did the public tour.
The peasants.
And it was funny. Well, I ran into JT from Smutty Nose.
What?
JT and Joe.
Wait, when was it? Was this?
This was 2012. It was the same day as the
GABF?
industry party. Yes.
Oh my god.
So
yeah. nice, shout out.
JT
Yeah.
and Joe from Smutty were there, and actually
Cool.
they were like, "Hey, come on with us. We're going over to one of the other breweries down the street," and I got to grab a bottle off the bottling line and drink it. It was badass.
That's my favorite. Like, that's the beer geekiest move. Even if it's at, like, the first time that happened to me was at Woodstock in New Hampshire. I'm like, this is the coolest thing of my life. You're not gonna cap this? Cool. Like, yep.
I don't even remember what it was. I just took it,
That's
and I
awesome.
drank it,
That's
and
cool.
it was badass.
Awesome.
But the second year, I went. Actually, I think I might have gone to Avery a different day. I don't think it was the same loopy day. It was still in the old facility, and I got a seat at the bar, and I spent a couple hours just chatting with people, just sipping stuff. I wasn't
Awesome.
going too crazy.
Yes.
But they do a thing where they have old bottles.
What are you sending me right now? What do you going on?
I'm looking something up.
I look it up and put it in the, because I want to share it to the people. This is all video right here.
No, I'm looking up some names of some things and some references.
Names of them. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
that's all. I need my own references.
So it wasn't the menopause beer. Gotcha.
No.
Close it up.
They have a thing where Adam Avery has like a private stock of stuff that he lets them sell.
Okay.
It was a bottle of their Mephistopheles Stout from 2006. This is 2012.
I couldn't drink then.
At the time.
You could.
Well, I could. No, in 2006. Yes, I could.
I was 1 year away.
Oh yeah, no, I could drink in 2004. Damn it. So, but yes, there was this. It was one of these like, hey, this is the stuff. It was like a little index card. This is what we have. We have a limited selection. Blah 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 blah. And I was chatting with this guy, and I want to say this bottle of Mephistopheles Stout from 2006 was like $35, and it was a 12-ounce bottle.
God,
I don't know, $30, whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
still,
it was.
yeah.
It was more than I was like excited about. And he's
Yeah,
like,
I'm not gonna.
he's like, you want to split it? I'm like, this is the fucking perfect thing ever. Like we're hanging out. Like,
Right.
yeah,
What
let's do
else
it.
What else are you gonna do with it? You gotta bring it home.
I don't need 12 ounce. It was only
Right.
12 ounce or two. Like
Right.
I don't. You know
So
what? I don't
yeah,
need 12 ounces.
here's this guy. And,
Exactly. So barman, come on over. Me and this guy.
Oh,
we're gonna split
they
it.
can open it up right
Yeah,
there.
and they open it. Yeah,
That's
it was
cool.
it was for on premise consumption only.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
because it was
yeah.
they didn't want you taking it away.
That's awesome.
And I remember thinking, this is the oldest beer. Nearly like one of the oldest beers I've had. Like because I've never had a beer that was 6 years
Yeah.
old. Anytime when I was when I was first 21, I had a beer that was 8 days old or whatever because it was
But
Bud
that
Light
was
or
so-
something.
Yeah.
So to have a 6-year-old beer, it was a changing experience. And I actually saved the bottle,
You kept it.
but
Oh no.
I brought home 18 bombers from New Belgium that year.
Too heavy for the empty glass.
Couldn't fit it in the suitcase, so I left it with Mallory. She has since left Boulder. She's married, moved to Tennessee, the whole 9 yards.
All right, we're gonna find
I
that.
left it with her, and I was like, "Can you hold on to this for me?" I hope she did. I really hope she did because again, it was such a. It was like the first time I really spent money on a really big bottle.
Hot info on the chat here. Derek sticking with us. Total Wines has a lot of Avery.
Oh,
So in Natick.
Derek, my old roommate. That's Derek. He's a good buddy of mine.
Surround yourself with good people is what I always
He
say.
is.
Is what someone said.
And that's
but
actually
I agree with it.
you mentioned Julio Julio's. I always see Avery there as well.
True. So that's
The
only
bigger
where I
stuff.
saw it. Yeah.
They have the Maharaja. They have the SAR. The Dictator series stuff.
If Ben was here, I'd make a wrestling joke, but it wouldn't land here.
I mean, I know a little bit about wrestling.
You know the modern day Maharaja is. Never mind. All right,
Yeah,
good.
no. But no, I think that's a big thing that you call this out is that GABF is an experience, and I can't stress enough that anybody who listens to this podcast, even casually, should go.
Okay, can you talk for maybe one more minute as I go downstairs and go to the bathroom? real
Correct.
quick?
But I think that it's the experiences around GABF that really, really matter. Is that if you think about it, it is the biggest event, I think, in the beer industry. We mentioned CBC, and CBC is definitely a big thing, but CBC is an industry thing. And now that this is an event that brings together some of the most serious beer customers, beer people around. And so these breweries really, really roll out the red carpet. The stuff I talked about at New Belgium, it's like their Super Bowl. This is a big thing for them to have all these people come in and do what it is that they do. I remember I went to Fort Collins Brewery right down the street. They were a smaller guy then. I don't even know how big they are now, but they make a big deal. They roll a big carpet out. It's the area is so proud, is so very proud of what they do in the beer sense, that everybody gives it the best.
So
it's the best.
Let me pull you out of the exclusive like parties and stuff like that. Did you get a chance to go to any of the like just events that were happening around the area? I mean, so
I went to a lot of the beer bars, which, by the way, my favorite beer bar, at least that I've say, I don't know if it really is Falling Rock Tap House.
Okay, is that in Denver?
It is in Denver. Okay. And they have normally, like on a Wednesday in February, have an amazing lineup of stuff. But they do so many events for this where there's breweries that bring in special stuff. They're like, okay, so at 4 we're going to tap this, and at 5 we're going to tap that.
Yeah.
Everybody is all about the best of the best, what they can deliver. Cool. And so go anywhere. And so the best part is, especially after the events where the medal awarding and the judging, where you go to these bars and there's the brewer wearing his medal, or there's the sales vice president or whatever wearing his medal, and you're like, oh, what are you drinking? And you drink the same thing he's drinking, and you just enjoy it. I remember I think there was like a dogfish party at Falling Rock. We didn't go to that, but like I think they have a downstairs, which I've never been privy to go to, but there was like a party in there. Everywhere.
Cool.
It's the Super Bowl of beer. It really is.
And it's the same as Boston, where when the Beer Advocate Microbrew Fest comes in, or the Extreme Beer Fest, there's things that happen around outside of it. A couple that I've caught wind of is Boulevard doing Love Child, like verticals, number 3 through number 9 at a bar, or like Sam Adams doing a Utopia's tasting here. So there's things like
stuff like that'll happen.
There's crazy things going on. It's like not something that bars would usually do, but like it seems like there's always a good amount of time to do something. But so
and everybody's there. Like literally all the big guys, and when I say the big guys, I'm talking about the founders, the brewers, the guys. Yeah. They are there all together all the time.
So I know you breezed upon it, but what did you go in with? Like for your first time, did you like have breweries in mind that you wanted to try, or just kind of like you're plopped here, like let me just go over to the Hopworks of Portland or whatever?
I think the best advice that I could give, so I mean again, I went in doing name recognition. Ooh, I can't get that, let me try that. I don't want to say don't do that. So, for instance, Russian River is
never heard of them.
Was there, and actually, I'm going to see if they're there. So yeah, Russian River's there, and they're not. Doesn't say what they're pouring.
Good spot, Derek. That was on the table for a second.
Oh yeah, no, Derek's he's got good eyes. Kids got good eyes.
You can put that away if you want, but I brought a couple options just to
first of all, as we talk about this, this is an irresponsible size of 1050. Like this is
just 1050.
Correct.
Like,
this is an irresponsible.
If this
size.
Was just 1050, be like, all right, get it off the table.
So at the
got it in Massachusetts.
At GB's Bottle Shop in Orlando, they had a stovepipe, which this is the name for this is stovepipe size. They had another stovepipe.
Irresponsible.
It might have been a Dale's or something like that. This is an irresponsible size of stuff. I mean,
should we have it?
No, we're going to have it.
But I figured we have a Colorado beer to celebrate.
Correct.
Celebrate me.
Yeah. God, I'm leaving. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
You're going to Tampa. Listen, you're going to Tampa. I need to do stuff.
Yeah, the Patriots better win, or I'm going to be real pissed.
I saw.
You want to open this? I feel rude opening.
Oh,
that.
Sure. That's fine.
You bring it. You open it.
So Derek mentioned the Oaked Age worldwide. There is actually some at on the Vine in Exeter here.
Actually, Derek is the one that provided me with the vanilla barrel age worldwide, whatever that current worldwide is, Derek. Oh yeah, no, it's a can of oil. I would say though 1050 is one of my favorite stouts.
I'm right there with you.
I like my stouts on the chocolate end, not on the the raisiny.
And what's funny is I was introduced to this beer very late in the game by Alpo over at Gaslight.
Really?
Yeah, because he was big into stouts, and they had a stout night and had this there. I'm like, I need this more oil in my life.
I think I want to say it was Chelsea that got me into the 1050 Oscar Blues sort of higher end stuff, and I love it. I have cans of this at home. I love it. Oh, the Chris Peck of all people, one of my good buddies, who I used to drink his Miller Lite from his fridge, says it's a good stout.
It's a good stout.
Crazy thing is, so Chris and I used to work together, and we used to, of course, drink heavily together. And he always was a Miller man.
Damn, just get in there with this. Come on.
And then Chris and I didn't hang out for a while. And then suddenly I started hanging out with him again, and the guy's got all day IPA and all these other IPAs in there. He came around too, which is awesome. Oh, this is.
I'm taking a picture because
this is nice and that's thick too. There's a good. I like the head you got on yours.
I got it when I went home to Massachusetts. The Whole Foods. Let me get your face.
What was the?
Adam.
What did this set you back?
1 second.
What this can set you back?
About $5. No.
I'm serious.
I wish I knew. I wish I like it. With this, it was no question what it was.
Oh yeah,
because it was the last can there. I forget what it was. It could have been 12. Could have been 13. I don't even know.
Because I'm purely curious again.
I didn't keep the receipts.
The 12-ounce cans go for a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Which and this is
so there are very few that might be the only one that I it's no question is when I saw this I'm like yes, and it says stovepipe right there. Do you see that? Stovepipe.
Oh, it does? Where?
Yeah.
Where does it say stovepipe?
Right on top of the damn thing.
Oh, stovepipe. Yeah.
But so I forget what it costs because I got that alongside a couple other things. A Boulevard. They had something there. But yeah, this is.
Is that why you have like a bag of Boulevard downstairs?
We're doing a vertical coming up soon. That's not from there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
you've always been a big Boulevard man. I know that.
Always.
I mean, Tank 13 guy.
Tank 7.
7. I don't know.
Jesus.
Whatever.
So I think it's more from Ben Watts where the farmhouse love came from. He's like, you got to try this. And I'm like, okay, this is fine, and it's changing the world. The Tank 7 is like Tank 7 Farmhouse and Oxbow Farmhouse are like if you want to get into farmhouse. If you have any desire to try other beers, start with those two.
Yep.
And
I'll
then,
give you that.
And then base everything else off of those.
Yep.
Because we should do a whole podcast of like if you want to get into whatever, try this beer. If you want to get into sours, try this beer.
So should we? Should we do our definitive style examples? Should we?
That's a great idea
for us.
Yes.
Should we do that?
Yeah. And it just
I like it.
I think it is like if I want a Kolsch, I want it to taste like this Kolsch.
Yeah.
And because it's of style.
I'm already
right,
I'm already trying to think of what
we can have a couple show ideas over here
because we could even stretch that.
Bring the
out
experts
too.
in too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, because we could do like one style a week too. This is the
oh my god,
this is the definitive nut brown right here.
Yes,
which
is not Newcastle.
No, it isn't.
But yes, I truly think though if you pull a Tank 7 and an Oxbow, they're no pun intended, love child is what a farmhouse beer should be.
No, I can totally respect that. And again, not as a farmhouse guy,
right.
Like it's not in my wheelhouse, but I can respect it immensely.
And
I know what it should taste like.
But yeah, and I've tried Boulevard's pale ales and stuff, and I'm like, they're pale ales, like, but their focus is the Tank 7s, the 6 glass, which is their quad. They're good stuff, and they're at GABF, so I may go check them out.
Yeah. So honestly. How much do they put out of Tank 7?
I wish I knew.
Like Tank 7, she must be an abused tank.
Right. I wonder if it only comes out of that tank.
Well, isn't that the whole thing? Like it came out that particular tank.
Yeah.
I thought that was the story. That particular tank was just different.
It's got a big tank. I don't know.
She's got a big tank.
Oh boy. Chat thoughts.
You know what? You're right.
Good call.
You're right, Ashley. I was actually going to say that is I always tell people that is Rodenbach Grand Cru.
Absolutely.
Rodenbach Grand Cru. You can buy it at the grocery store.
Market Basket
for $9. You can buy a 25-ounce bottle of it at the grocery store for $9.
You're in the possession of a great beer.
And guess what? The former brewmaster at New Belgium, Peter Brukart.
Yeah.
Rodenbach. He's a Rodenbach guy. He's a Rodenbach guy.
Oh my god.
He just left too. Actually, I think it was
awesome.
just not that long. Oh,
train break.
Train break.
I guess I'm not upset.
Train break. But yeah,
on draft though.
Oh yeah,
If you
she,
can find a
she,
place on Draft.
she texted me earlier. It's at Whim, I think. No. Sorry, Earth Eagle. Sorry, Earth Eagle.
Earth Eagle's
She-
Roadblock on Draft.
Yeah, she texted me earlier,
Cool.
like as we started this, and I was like, "Yeah,
Good-
but I'm
good for
not
them.
near there."
Yeah, but I would like to at least maybe from now on bring in a pinnacle, like here's what our, I mean,
And
not,
even if
not-
it's
not-
individually. Wait. What if
but
we each brought
the
it?
theme of the show isn't that? It's just like here's
What if we picked a style each show, and we each brought in our pinnacle of that, and but secretly,
Yes.
maybe it's the
Yes.
same. We don't know.
yes.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
And then what if we just like 1, 2, 3? What?
Oh my God, we all have the same
Or
one.
they're nowhere near.
Yeah, or you idiot, we said stouts and
Yeah.
like
Why'd you bring a
No.
Bud Light? 'Cause it's my favorite rice lager. Like, what do you want me to say?
yeah, there's a time and a place for a rice lager.
Exactly.
No,
Wait.
I love this idea.
I love
we
it.
got to get Ben on this.
Oh, for sure, he's in.
Absolutely.
But so we can't start with Farmhouse because you already know ours. But yeah, we'll try something that we all like. Stout would be interesting to see who brings what. I don't know what I'd bring.
We got to. Well, we have to nail it. Are we gonna say stout, or are we gonna nail it down a little further? Because
What like porter or milk stout? You mean?
no,
Like,
yeah. Well,
you-
I just like
sweet
like
stout?
I'm just
No.
saying a stout. Like that's a really.
if you bring in a left hand, I wouldn't be upset. That's what I'm saying.
What if I brought in a Guinness?
That's fine. That's a stout.
That's why I'm like, what if we nail it down a little bit?
Okay, so if we say it's a New England IPA, that's got to be from New
I'm just gonna bring a jug of orange juice with alcohol in it.
Sunny D. It's weird. Are we doing Brass Monkeys with 40s? All right, back to GABF real quick, and we'll close it down. Anything else? Any other tips for those watching that are going to GABF, have no clue what to deal with, but they're there for a couple of days in Denver?
So the first thing, let me address GABF proper. Don't go anywhere you've ever been. Don't go to a brewery you've been to before.
Okay.
There's too many.
Yep.
Go elsewhere.
Even if it's like even if you've been to somewhere that you haven't, like, say there's a brewery in Portland I've been to, don't even go to it.
You know what? No, think about it this way. There's probably 400 or 500 breweries there. You've got
maybe 100 of them I've even
You've
heard
got
of.
3 days.
Yeah.
Do the math.
Yeah.
Maximize. Expand
And not many people have 3 days though, so many people have 5 hours.
Expand your horizons, and that's talk about like what we've said earlier. What we like to do, or at least what I like a brewery that offers different varieties of style. Go to different breweries.
Yeah.
You know what? If you want, do something crazy. Come up with a system. I'm only going to drink not IPAs, or I'm only going to drink pale ale.
Yeah.
You know what? Do that. Dude, that's fine
That's
too.
so tough to do though with a 500 brewery. Like I can do this with a 25, 40
just go
brewer fest.
Just go and try stuff.
Okay.
Just go and try new stuff. Like I said, there was one day I did a second session in 2012. Where's there no line? Maybe that means it's shit. Maybe you know what? But I don't know till I try it.
Okay, fine.
And so just go try stuff you've never had before. Go to a place that you don't. You know what? You could make a whole day out of going to breweries from towns you've never heard of before.
I hate that. That's why I was like,
that's the scale. That's the scale we're talking about.
yeah. So
like,
how about this? So that scared me enough. I'll try to get outside my horizons because I know what I do. The worst thing I do, but I love doing it, is when I go to New Hampshire. Like when we go to the one in Red Hook, I'm gonna talk to everybody. Mm-hmm. But you're gonna be like, we got to go to another beer.
Well, we're gonna talk. But also we're gonna be there long enough that we can.
That's true.
Talk
That's true.
to everybody.
So
you've got to realize,
yeah,
you can't.
Right. So what about? Do you have any other do you have any crazy stories of people that you've seen, like people watching? Because I bet it's the best.
So
but like all festivals, you see like the guy come up and like, give me your strongest beer. Give me what's the one with all the hops. It's like I love those people, but it's also there's got to be that to the nth degree.
I will say this:
crazy.
It's been 5 years. I don't remember any specific
that's fine.
fall down drunk guys, but I will give you a couple of stories.
Okay, what do you got?
First of all, costumes are a thing.
This is Comic-Con?
Yes.
Jesus.
There are going to be
Beericon?
There's going to be people dressed up
Beericon.
in lederhosen. There's going to be there's going to be a guy dressed up in a green man
I was
suit.
just going to say, okay.
There's going to be a guy
Nope.
dressed up as Superman. There's going to be a girl with, crazy ponytails or
just
whatever.
like the German beer wench kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yep.
There's going to be all that.
Okay.
One thing they do that I now have embraced, it's a big open hall with a concrete floor. and it's I
Don't-
looked.
Go.
I looked. They have 500,000 square feet of
Concrete?
expo space.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's where they're in
Yeah.
there. Only at the members session or our brewers do you get glass. Everybody gets plastic.
Okay.
But you can hear that plastic cup drop from across the room.
So is it like the big old circle of what?
Yeah, when it drops, whoa, screams from everywhere.
That's
and,
the worst.
And when you figure there's 30,000 people there, there's a cup dropped every couple of minutes. and again, the best part is too, when you're lucky enough to be there in sight of the guy who's dropped it.
Yeah.
And everybody stares and looks, especially if he somehow broke it. Because like I said, they're tight on the cups. And so then he's kind of like, I don't know what to do, and he has to go beg for another cup. Or split with his buddy. So yes, so there's that. The other cool thing, the last cool thing that I will say is everybody's there. And when I say everybody, I mean the brewers, the founders, the people.
Okay. Yep.
You will run into somebody important.
I got our business cards. I got our business cards.
Vinny from Russian River will probably be pouring at his booth.
Yep.
Sam will probably be pouring something out of a Randall at the Dogfish booth.
Yes.
These people who you don't ever see are there. And because this industry is what it is, they are amongst the people.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm not saying I've seen everybody, but I've like, oh shit, that was that guy, and then he's gone.
Jesus, that's awesome. Yep.
So those are the parting things I will leave you with.
All right.
And it is by far, my friend, an amazing experience. I am so jealous. We're definitely going next year.
For sure.
I think they've announced the dates, so we're going to get those on the calendar, which means we should probably, as soon as we can buy flights, we should buy flights.
Yeah, so we got to start banking these podcasts to make sure we get a press pass, because we will, for sure.
I don't even know what they're required. You know what? You start fishing at
I'll
what are
look
the
it up. Yeah,
requirements.
and I should have looked, but
A I think we need to be a bona fide news source, which we are. We are.
Are you
not.
kidding? Oh, what?
I don't know. We need to start breaking news.
Yeah, Facebook Live food reviews. It's breaking news. But yeah, so I don't know if anyone's watching this that's going. You can find me there.
I'll set you up with Max and
12 hours
Melissa too.
Yeah, So that was my surprise to you, is me going somewhere else. But you're also going somewhere else. So get out of here with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Hopefully, watch the Patriots win. Although the way they've been playing lately, probably gonna watch the Patriots lose.
I called my mom right after the Patriots lost, and she picked up like someone died. But I didn't realize the Patriots had lost. So I picked, bring, hello. I'm like, Mom, is everything okay? Yeah, the Patriots just lost. I'm like, God, fuck. I thought someone just died.
Well, Tom
It was
Petty
it was
did
a tough
die, by
one.
the way. Tom Petty did die.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'll pour a little out for a homie.
definitely, for sure. Rock has seen 3 big ones this year.
Oh, and the
It's-
half
I'm
too.
not-
I mean, half
Yeah,
man, half.
That's an interesting year.
Lived a good goddamn life,
God,
though.
90-something. We'll end the GABF after
The
show on
GABF
that.
talk with dead people. I expect some Facebook Live videos. I expect
Absolutely. So
call me. Talk to
so
me.
I'm bringing my recorder. I got the H4 already packed. The suitcase is full. We're good to go. Like I'm bringing audio everywhere.
You've already packed. You're terrible.
Oh yeah.
By the way,
It's all the way.
the first or second year when I remember, I actually had my outfits planned. I literally had, this is the beer shirt, this is the beer hat that I'm going to wear.
I have all the hats like ready to go. I got my
yeah.
sweet Garrison hat. I got this one. I might go with tomorrow.
You're not gonna bring the liar's bench? You gonna do that?
Oh no, I am. Yeah,
Oh,
because I have my
Lead the way.
zero see-through aviators that I'm wearing with that. It's already planned.
You see, dude, I laid them all out.
No,
There's
it's
actually
happening.
there's actually a Facebook post that I have where I literally posted ahead of time like what my outfits are gonna be, and people were like, "You're crazy."
I mean, I want to have the hat ready because I love the Liar's Bench hat, and I think I have the perfect like outfit to wear. So it's going to be
but that's exactly what
Yeah.
I did. It's terrible.
So we're doing that again. The GABF is starting on Thursday. The dates are it's starting Thursday. It ends on Saturday is the last session. So I'll report back next
Oh
week.
yeah, of course you will.
Because what's coming up next week for the podcast is we are talking about the not as popular but also pretty awesome locally, the Red Hook,
which was my second beer fest, actually.
I love that fest. It's
oh,
a
it
great
is.
fest.
It is. I went to that festival the morning before I had to go to a wedding. The bride texted me, "Do not ruin my wedding."
And you can see us both there together.
We might have a surprise
Maybe
there too.
We'll see. Yeah,
I don't
we'll
know.
See.
Maybe.
And it's a beer, but I got my tickets downstairs. I have not thrown it out, so I keep looking at my
paper.
What is this?
What are you wasting trees over here?
I wanted to send me something.
Oh, brown paper tickets are amazing, by the way. That
That's
company
true.
that they do.
Send them for free.
Love it.
It's awesome.
Love it.
Anyway. So I guess wish me luck. I wish you luck.
Yeah, I want updates. I want updates.
All right, so we'll drink these downstairs. I have some barbecue pulled chicken to
All right.
eat. Till next time, YouTube and Facebook.
If he survives. Cheers.
Bye.